Hey queen, stop everything, because the hottest man you have ever laid eyes on 6'4". Shoulders that fill a Tom Ford suit like it was sewn onto him. Net worth commas that make your head spin. The one every woman in the room watches when he walks in is right now on one knee in the middle of a private villa in Mykonos. Trembling, holding a 12-carat graph diamond up to a woman he calls his ice queen. A woman who barely answers his texts, who cancels half their plans last minute, who looks at him with that soft, bored smile that says you're cute, but it'll be fine either way. And tonight I'm going to rip the curtain back and show you exactly why that so-called cold energy makes the most desirable men lose their minds, rewrite their entire lives, and beg for the privilege of loving a woman who refuses to melt for anyone. I know because I used to be the warmest girl in every room, heart on my sleeve. Answering at 3 a.m., cooking breakfast in his t-shirt, planning surprises, and watched those same gods treat me like background music. Until one day I snapped, flipped the switch, became the coldest version of myself I could possibly be. And suddenly, the exact men who ghosted me for weeks were wiring 6-figure deposits on penthouses for when you finally decide to stay over. Chartering jets at midnight just to sit at my feet for 30 minutes while I sipped champagne and scrolled my phone like they barely existed. Talking about the night, I wore a backless crystal Laquan Smith gown to a gala at the Met. Let a certain billionaire kiss my neck in the garden. Then pulled away. Whispered that's enough for tonight. King. Walked off without looking back. And 48 hours later, he had cleared an entire floor at the Ammon, New York. Filled it with white orchids and a handwritten letter that said, "I've never wanted anyone the way I want you. And I hate that you make me feel this alive." That was the moment I understood. The hottest guys don't fall for the girl who gives them everything. They fall so violently in love with the girl who gives them nothing that they spend the rest of their lives trying to earn the warmth she keeps locked behind a diamond vault. I've watched pro athletes cancel playoff parties because I said maybe next week. I've had tech founders offer equity in companies that aren't even public, yet just to lock in a weekend with me. I've had men who swore they'd never settle down crying in the back of a Rolls because I looked at them and said, "Convince me with the calmest smile you've ever seen." This isn't about being mean, darling. This is about being magnetically, luxuriously, deliciously unavailable. And tonight I'm handing you the entire blueprint of emotional refrigeration that turns the most untouchable men into personal worshippers who thank you on their knees for treating them like an option while you live your softest, richest, most radiant life. Get ready, baby, because by the time this video ends, you'll never chase warmth again. You'll be too busy watching the hottest man you've ever met melt the second you decide to freeze. Here's the secret they'll never say out loud. The hottest guys have been drowning in easy, desperate, overflowing affection since the day they grew into that jawline. Every Instagram model sends nudes by the third slide. Every first date ends with a woman staring at them like they hung the moon. Every text thread is filled with heart eye emojis and paragraphs about how perfect they are. So when they finally meet a woman who withholds, who answers 4 hours later with a single word, who cancels dinner because something came up, who kisses them slow and deep then pulls away first with a soft, "That's all you get tonight," their entire nervous system screams, "This is different. This is rare. This is worth risking everything for." And that feeling, that sharp, exquisite sting of maybe losing you, is the single most addictive high a man who's used to winning without effort will ever experience. I learned this in the most expensive way possible. I used to be the girl who baked sourdough for a Formula One driver at 2 a.m. after his race, who answered every call on the first ring, who sent good morning voice notes dripping with sweetness, and he still treated me like Tuesday's option. Then one day I got exhausted. I stopped replying instantly, started taking 6, 8, sometimes 12 hours to answer with breezy one-liners, canceled a Miami weekend because I needed to reset. And suddenly, this same man was calling from the pit lane in Monaco, begging me to fly in, sending a Maybach to my door at midnight with a note that said, "I can't sleep knowing you're not mine yet." The colder I became, the more violently he burned. Because scarcity is crack to a man who spent his life surrounded by abundance. Cold isn't cruel. Queen. It's curated distance. It's the velvet rope outside the most exclusive club in the world. It's the difference between being another bottle service girl pouring free champagne and being the owner who decides who even gets on the list. I perfected luxurious detachment like it was my full-time job. ID let him kiss me in the back of his Phantom until his hands were shaking, then gently push him away and whisper behave. ID let him book the entire Little Nell in Aspen for New Year's and then text the day before rain check. Love. I'm staying in the city with my girls. ID post a mirror selfie in nothing but La Perla and a diamond choker with the caption girls who don't need anyone stay the prettiest while he watched it on repeat from 35,000 feet. Every time I created space, he filled it with grander gestures, bigger gifts, deeper devotion, because the second a man senses you're perfectly fine glowing, thriving, unbothered without him, his entire masculinity goes into overdrive trying to prove you wrong. The psychology is brutally simple. Men bond through challenge. They fall in love through the ache of your absence. They commit when they realize your warmth is rationed and only available to the version of them willing to move mountains to earn it. I once dated a tech god worth 9 figures who told me, tears in his eyes after I left his Malibu mansion at sunrise without spending the night. I've never been ignored by someone I want this badly, and it's making me insane. And 3 months later, he was transferring equity in his next unicorn just to keep me from disappearing. Another time, a Grammy-winning artist flew me to Paris, spent $100,000 on one dinner at Le Bristol, and I thanked him, kissed his cheek, took the jet home alone because I had an early facial, and he proposed 4 weeks later on a yacht off St. Tropez because he said the way I left him starving that night rewired his entire soul. Cold women win because we understand that high-value men don't respect what's freely given. They worship what's strategically withheld. And the moment you master that art, the slow replies, the canceled plans, the soft, bored smile that says convince me, the way you walk away first every single time, you become the rarest, most intoxicating experience in their entire universe. The one they'll spend the rest of their lives trying to melt. So right now, Queen, tonight, this very second, you are retiring the warm, eager, over-available version of yourself forever. You are stepping into the ice goddess energy that makes the hottest men drop to their knees and thank the universe for the privilege of breathing the same air as you. Starting with the next text he sends, you are going to wait 4 hours, 6 hours, maybe tomorrow, and then reply with one perfectly chilled line that leaves him staring at his phone like it just slapped him. When he asks what you're doing this weekend, you're going to say I'll let you know and then go get that facial. Go dance with your girls. Go live your soft, expensive life while he spirals trying to figure out how to become worthy of your calendar. When he tries to pull you close in the back of the Maybach, you're going to let him get within an inch. Feel his breath catch, then place one manicured finger on his lips and whisper not yet before sliding out of the car like smoke. You're going to cancel half the plans he makes always with sweetness. Always with mystery, something came up. Babe, rain check and watch him double the effort. Triple the romance. Move entire mountains just to hear you say yes one more time. You're going to post the photos that stop his heart mirror selfie in La Perla. Champagne in the bath. Sunset on a yacht with your girls and never, ever explain yourself. Because mystery is your new lingerie and detachment is your signature scent. When he says, I miss you, you're going to smile at your screen 4 hours later and type aw. Cute and watch a grown man book a spontaneous flight to wherever you are. When he asks where this is going, you're going to look him dead in the eyes. Sip your martini extra slow and say, well, see, while the silence does all the heavy lifting. You are going to become the woman whose absence feels like withdrawal, whose presence feels like winning the lottery, whose maybe feels better than any other woman's desperate yes. And in less time than you think, you'll have the hottest man you've ever touched begging for crumbs of your attention while you glow brighter than ever. Surrounded by your sisters, living your richest, softest, Most untouchable life, like the limited edition work of art you were always meant to be. If this just lit something dangerous inside your chest. If you're already rehearsing tomorrow's cold reply in your head, do 3 things for me right now. Smash that subscribe button and turn on the bell, because every week I'm handing you another layer of this glacier energy. Comment Ice Queen activated below so the entire sisterhood can celebrate you rising. And send this video to every woman you love who's tired of being the warm one who finishes last. Type "I needed this" if you just felt your heart freeze over in the most delicious way possible. Because I swear I can feel thousands of crowns turning to solid diamond right now. You are the fantasy they chase in their sleep. Baby, you are the standard they'll never reach unless you let them. Now go be cold enough to make the hottest man you know burn for the rest of his life. I love you. I'm proud of you. Your ice age begins tonight.